Hello, everyone. My name is Valerie from Valerie and Belize. I am so excited that you have chosen to join me for the 2025 Alaska Seminar Series. So, as a really quick introduction, if this is your first video or you've tuned in the past, every couple years I sit down with a bunch of my favorite Alaskan destinations and tour operators and cover everything you need to know about visiting Alaska. And this year, obviously, we're looking at 2025. So I am delighted to have Robin from the Alaska Railroad for this video. She's going to give us all the information you need to know about the railroad from end to end. And the great thing about that is while it is a large distance, the network of the Alaska Railroad is actually pretty simple, but there's so many options that you can enjoy. So without further ado, I am going to turn it over to Robin. She's going to give us an orientation, and then we're going to do Q&A. Now, if you are watching the replay and you have a question, please post it in the comments, and I'll address it, or I can reach out to Robin and the Alaska Railroad team to make sure that your question gets answered. Okay, now without further ado, Robin, the stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Again, my name's Robin. I'm with the Alaska Railroad. I am based in Anchorage, Alaska, for those of you who are interested in the area. I'm going to talk all things Alaska Railroad today, and I'm super excited to share what we have right now and what we have coming up in 2025. So first of all, Alaska is home to many spectacular places to visit, and at the Alaska Railroad, we truly believe that the destination is just as spectacular as the journey. So sit back with me, and I'm going to take you on a little short ride. So I want to start first with our rail belt map, just to give you an idea and proximity of how we work, where we run, and the state. So as you can see on the right there is the state of Alaska, and that yellow bar is where the rail belt runs. So we run about 500 miles of track, starting from Seward all the way up to Fairbanks, as you can see, and it goes Seward up into Anchorage, Anchorage up into Fairbanks, with many stops and destinations along the way. So we try to connect a lot of communities along the rail belt, from quaint towns such as Seward to quirky ones in Talkeetna, and of course getting you into Denali and Denali National Park as well. Most of all of our trains run and operate out of Anchorage, which is basically our main depot and hub. So we run year-round, and all of our summer trains depart daily in and out of Anchorage. So it is a great base camp and starting point for your Alaska adventures. So I want to introduce you now to our classes of service. So we have two classes of service on the Alaska Railroad. We have Adventure Class and Gold Star service. So what we're showing now is our Adventure Class service. And as you can see, we have these nice, comfortable forward-facing reclining seats, large picture windows. And the Adventure Class actually is available on all Alaska Railroad trains year-round. And even some feature what we call a Vista Dome car with open seating and an upper level. And then dining is also available on our trains. We have a few dining options. We have the Wilderness Cafe, or the Bistro car, cafe car, and they feature a variety of items from grab and go to casual dining to a bagel to coffee, just depending on what you fancy. So this is a great place to get up, walk around, have a little chat with family and friends, or meet some new people along the way. You can find a complete list of menu and dining options online if you are interested. And remember that all of our trains are cashless, and we only accept credit cards on board. This is our Gold Star service. So we operate Gold Star service on our Denali Star and Coastal Classic trains in the summer. As you can see, it has beautiful upper level viewing platforms. It is a double level dome car, and you get just spectacular panoramic views. You can hang out outside, you can go inside, you can be in and out and really enjoy those spectacular views, get a great glimpse. And as you can see in this photo, this is we are a family-friendly train. We want you to adventure with family, grandparents, multi-generation, or even just your spouse or your partner if you're interested, or maybe a girls trip. In Gold Star service, we love to say that we actually include meals in this service. So depending on the route that you're on, you can have breakfast, lunch, or dinner, depending on the route and time of day. And this also includes all soft beverages and 2 complimentary adult beverages as well. As I mentioned, this is, As I mentioned, this is on our Denali Star and Coastal Classic trains, and then Adventure Class is also available on all of our train routes throughout the summer as well and winter. And now I want to introduce you to our summer trains. First up is our Coastal Classic train. This train operates between Denali and Seward with a stop in Girdwood and runs mid-May to about mid-September. So this train really does enjoy spectacular views. You get to see Turnagain Arm, hanging glaciers, rugged mountains of the Chugach Forest, and it is just spectacular for wildlife viewing of all different sorts, from sheep to belugas to eagles and everything in between. So once guests and passengers are in Seward, they can choose to embark on their own adventure or choose to do a variety of glacier and wildlife cruises. They can walk around, they can go to the Alaska Sea Life Center, they can grab a meal. They can really choose their own experience here. This train is actually one of National Geographic's top 10 train rides in America, woo woo, that we love to say. And just so you know, we really believe that, again, the journey is just as spectacular as the destination. So all of our trains are what we consider a slow roll train. So if there's some sight or wildlife sighting along the way, we try to slow our train down so you are able to truly take in that scenery and enjoy what's happening on the outside. And I like to share that I think videos speak just as highly as the destination, so I would love to show a video with you guys of this experience that you get on the Coastal Classic train. So thanks for taking a ride on the Coastal Classic train with me to Seward. That's just a little taste of the experience that you get along with visiting the destination. On to our next summer train is the Denali Star train. And this is what we consider our flagship or very well-known train because it is named after Denali National Park. So it has a very familiarity with it. This train operates mid-May to mid-September. Departs northbound and southbound, linking Anchorage and Fairbanks together, with stops in Wasilla, Talkeetna, Denali National Park, and then, of course, Fairbanks along the way. This train's pretty special. It does run 365 miles and features pretty amazing scenery and sightseeing of the Denali National Peak, as well as many other opportunities for wildlife viewing along the way. We do have Gold Star service available on this train, as well as an Adventure Class. And it does depart in and out of Fairbanks to Anchorage about 8:20 a.m. And then you get into the opposite end of the city, depending on departure and arrivals, in and out about 8 p.m. So it's a pretty long train ride. If you're going all the way, I highly recommend stops along the way and getting off to enjoy the scenery and staying a couple of days, if not several days in each location. Taking a little tour along this train with me, I'd love to introduce you to Denali Star train with this video. So as you can see, this train, there's some great experiences along the way. So if you're heading north from Anchorage, it does make stops in Wasilla, and then before going on to Talkeetna, which is a very quaint and charming town north of Anchorage. It offers a lot of tours and experiences, plus some great dining options as well. Talkeetna does also we partner with tour companies in Talkeetna to bring you sightseeing tours, jet boat tours, and ziplining tours as well. Upon that, then going further north from Talkeetna, we arrive in Denali National Park, which is home to North America's tallest peak. This truly is an awe-inspiring landscape both on the train and even just in the park, of course. We can help you with any kind of like lodging or tour or excursions that you're interested in Denali National Park if you want to do, or if you just want to get off the train and spend about 10 minutes and get some great pictures and be in Denali National Park and get back on. You have many options there as well. And then I would love to show you the experiences you can have in Talkeetna. As you can see, we went through some pretty cool destinations and experiences along our Denali Star Route. And this is just a little taste of what you get to see and experience with the Alaska Railroad. On to our third and final daily summer train. It's called the Glacier Discovery Train. And yes, you'll see glaciers on this route. It operates Anchorage to Girdwood, Portage, Whittier, Spencer Glacier, and finally Grandview. This is a pretty fun train. It's really great for day trips or just getting out and exploring the backcountry of Alaska. This train does operate year-round out of Anchorage. It is based out of, and it runs beginning of June to about mid-September. And as you can see, there are several stops along the way. You can get off at either one of those stops and explore the area more, take a cruise, a glacier and wildlife cruise, go out rafting, maybe hang out in Girdwood, whatever is really up to your fancy. So one of the great experiences on this train is traveling into the Whittier by the Anton Anderson Memorial Tunnel. This trip is really a great day trip and we highly recommend it. You get on the train in Anchorage and you head to Whittier. You can go on the Glacier and Wildlife Cruise and you get to experience one of the very unique and awe-inspiring places in Alaska of Prince William Sound. It does travel through Anton Anderson Memorial Tunnel, and it's about 2.5 miles, and it is actually both a rail and car tunnel. So we have cars that go through, and while the cars are going through, we actually stop, and then when the train goes through, cars are paused on the other side as well. So it's a pretty fun experience and one that's very unique to Alaska. So once the train does get into Whittier, you are connected to an immense amount of boat and wildlife cruises that we highly recommend. You get to explore Prince William Sound, see glaciers, wildlife, and all those in between adventures. Next, the train does travel to a very fun and quaint little place called Portage, Alaska. And here you can actually experience the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center. It's home to a multitude of animals. This is their permanent home. The Wildlife Center actually takes in injured and orphaned animals and provides them a permanent home. This place offers great up-close animal viewing, and you're going to be able to experience and get the history and education of all these animals that have come to the Wildlife Center and that call Alaska home. Up next, after that, we have Spencer Glacier as the destination on this train, and I would love to show a video to you of what that looks like. So as you can see here, Spencer Glacier is a very unique backcountry area in Alaska, and we are very proud that we get to access this little slice of heaven in the backcountry. And Spencer Glacier is accessible by Spencer Glacier Whistle Stop. So out here you can go as you saw, hiking, rafting. You can float down the river into Placer. There's multitude of things. You can even just go on a little trek out to the edge of the glacier lake, have a picnic, and get back on the train. There's really any sort of adventure you are interested in can accommodate. And it's truly a unique setting. You are in remote Alaska, out in the wilderness, experiencing true beauty and nature. It is a one-of-a-kind experience. As I did say, we do operate year-round. So as one of the fun things that we get to do, we get to run a winter train. So our winter train is called the Aurora Winter Train. It runs Anchorage to Fairbanks and then Fairbanks to Anchorage. And as you can see, we do have a stop along the way in Talkeetna. And this train is truly unique. It's pretty fun. It operates in all sorts of conditions in the pristine of winter with snow-covered mountains and ice-covered rivers. It is truly a great and unique experience. This train runs mid-September to mid-May with just weekend service beginning in the fall and winter, and then we start midweek service in February and March to offer more accommodations and availability to our travelers and guests. And as you can see, this train does cover some beautiful background or beautiful scenery as well. So these are just some of the very fun things that you get to do on the winter train. So in Anchorage, Talkeetna, and Fairbanks, there's an abundance of opportunities that you can do. You can go wildlife viewing, dog mushing, any kind of outdoor adventures you seek. There's, of course, northern lights chasing or northern lights hunting. There's Chena Hot Springs. And we work with multiple companies along the rail belt to give you this experience in the wintertime. And we just want you to sit back and enjoy the coziness of the train and enjoy the journey while we take care of all the train movement for you. All right, so what's new? Snow adventure season is here. So we are really excited in the 2024-2025 winter season to offer some new tours and opportunities for you to get out and explore this very cool and very vast state. So as you can see, I've listed some here. So in Anchorage, there's of course some flight scene tours that are awesome. We have added back on a trek on Matanuska Glacier, which is a little bit north of Anchorage and is easily accessible. Our partners will actually come pick you up in a shuttle from Anchorage and get you to this destination to have this great experience. And then you can get on the train the next day and head up to Talkeetna and then on to Fairbanks. Talkeetna, we've also added some more flight scene tours of Denali. Dog mushing and snowshoeing is a new one that we've added recently, and it is just a very fun experience. Hiking in the winter, enjoying those pristine wilderness, the snow-capped mountains again, and just enjoying getting outside and then having some hot cocoa by the end of the day. And then in and out of Fairbanks, we've partnered with a few businesses that operate out of Coldfoot and the Arctic Circle, so getting you even further into Alaska's wilderness and pieces that no one else has been or that many people have not been before. So more things that are new. This is kind of what I call the unglamorous side, but is also very important to who we are as the Alaska Railroad. So the Alaska Railroad has been around for 101 years. And with that, there are some things that we need to take care of. And also looking to the next 100 years of how we are going to be operating as a company and within our state. So as you can see, we have some pretty old bridges and infrastructure, so we're putting in some money to update and repair those. We have a bridge plan that we're working on to replace, rehab over 50 bridges over the next decade. Again, not glamorous, but something that is actually pretty cool and very good to see that we're putting this investment in. Our track rehab program is always underway, so we try to replace ties every year. Last year in 2023, we replaced 45,000 ties along the railroad, which is very extensive and hard work. We are also working on our rail car rehab program where we're actually taking our rail cars out of service. We can only do 2 at a time, and we're doing it in the off season, where we're updating what's on the interior of these cars. So adding in cup holders and tray tables and more cell phone outlets to really bring our cars up to the modern era for the traveler that we're seeking and hoping to target. And then more for what's new for 2025. So our summer season, it is always on my mind and always underway, and we have some new and exciting opportunities for tours that we've partnered with. We'll be offering ATV tours out of Denali National Park. along with new rafting tours that you come into Fairbanks and then go to Denali to raft. It's pretty exciting. We're really excited to have these new tours available for our guests. And then some fun kayaking tours in Seward, focusing in Kenai Fjords National Park and Resurrection Bay. And wrapping that up is the Alaska Railroad. We believe the journey should be just as spectacular as the destination, and I hope you enjoyed taking this ride with me today. Thank you so much.
Amazing, Robin. Thank you so much for telling us all about the Alaska Railroad. And I want to just like pause for a second. So if you have just gone through this whole thing as a viewer, this is something that I don't think the Alaska Railroad articulates quite clearly enough. And I want to do that because increasingly I'm getting this question. If you are looking for a package travel experience, like you are feeling overwhelmed and you don't really know what to do, but you know you want to ride the train and you know that you want to go to the places on the rail belt, the Alaska Railroad offers both pre-made packages and they can plan you a custom package, like an itinerary, like you can be in touch with someone. This is something that is not, I don't think it's clear enough to visitors when they learn about the railroad. They think it's just part of the logistics of getting around Alaska, a very beautiful part. But actually, you can have like white glove end-to-end service of planning your trip. So if you are at that stage and you're like, I'm a railhead, I'm sold on being on the train, let me ride the whole thing, but also all that other fun stuff, reach out to the Alaska Railroad, alaskarailroad.com. They have their phone number on the website as well. It's just this little pro tip that I really don't think people know as much as they should. And it'll just take that weight right off your shoulders and let the experts about the train put together an incredible experience. And I am so excited about all the things that you're adding because that's what makes Alaska great. It's like you can ride the train, but you can do an Arctic Circle adventure and you can go hike on Matanuska and you can go kayaking, all those activities all in one place. So thank you again, Robin. I'm really, really excited to dive into our Q&A that we have now. Okay, I've got a bunch. Yeah, I got a bunch that were submitted in advance. Again, if you're watching this replay, just put yours in the comments below and I will do my best to make sure you get an answer. So right off the bat, Tracy has a question. And I don't think this is strictly a railroad, Alaska Railroad like responsibility, but I think it is an important question that people have, which is both in Anchorage and like broadly speaking, how do you get to the train or to your hotel from the train? What are the options?
So there are several options depending on where you're at. So Anchorage specifically, the hotels do sometimes offer shuttle service depending on what hotel you are staying at. But then we have taxis, we have Lyft, we have Uber, all located in Anchorage, very easily accessible for you. If you are staying in some other smaller destinations, such as Girdwood does offer a shuttle to the depot. If you're in Seward or Talkeetna, depending on where you're staying, you can most likely walk. It's a very close distance. If not, a lot of those hotels that we do partner with offer shuttle service as well. It's just coordinating with the front desk on how to get there.
Yeah, great. Thank you. And I think Denali is the big one. And in most cases, I let people know like most hotels offer a shuttle in Denali, most.
Yes.
If they don't, it's usually very clear on their website. So if you're uncertain, check their website, give them a call, pick up the phone and call them. They can clarify that for you. But it's usually offered by the hotel, not the Alaska Railroad.
Right. And those are ones that you just need to call and confirm. Like they'll take you. They just need to know when you need to go.
Yep. Okay, so here's a question from Libby. I don't know if there's specifically like a guide on this, but it's a great question. Is how much luggage can you accommodate? Is there a per visitor limit or per rider?
Yeah, so we actually do have, it's basically kind of like an airlines. We do 2 per passenger, and then you can have a carry-on. The luggage that does get checked in our baggage car, what we consider, cannot be over 50 pounds. And so if over 50 pounds, we do charge you more for that.
Okay, that's really simple. So whatever you're planning to pack for your trip, if you're not over the airline limits, you're probably not over the Alaska Railroad limits.
Perfect. Yes.
Here's a great one from Kim. A question about broadly accessibility, mobility issues. Can people still ride the train? What do you have?
Absolutely. So we actually do offer lifts at all of our main depots throughout the state year round to accommodate this, as well as in our Gold Star service that is a bi-level dome. We have what we consider a little elevator that goes up and down there for you. So it gives you really easy access. And we are more than happy to work with you on any accessibility issues or concerns that you have.
Is that something that either they can notify you of when they're booking online, or do they need to like call and let the Alaska Railroad know that they're going to need that service provided?
Both. So if they're doing like a whole package with us, they can definitely let us know and give us a heads up. If they're booking online, it's a little box that they need to fill out just to let us know so we can have a lift ready for them.
Awesome. Okay, so here's another, a little bit more specific and unique question of an accessibility. And let's address this broadly. Let's talk about elevation changes on the Alaska Railroad on the rail belt. So let's start with the Coastal Classic and then talk about the Denali Star and which one might be better for someone who doesn't do well with elevation change.
Sure. So this is a great question. Our Coastal Classic, which runs Anchorage to Seward, does go through a little bit of elevation change, but not as drastic. And it does land in Seward, which is at sea level. So Anchorage and Seward are pretty much at sea level. Very minimal change there, unless you want to, go hike up Flat Top. But you're at sea level, and it's so you have very minimal elevation change there. The Denali Star does go through some elevation change. You're obviously getting up into Denali National Park. We're crossing through a summit, which is at the highest, and we also go through a pass, which is at the lowest. So you're getting quite a different elevation change on the train, just going through the different areas and landscapes that we have to travel through. So for this, I would recommend probably the Coastal Classic would be your best, and I think you would be very satisfied. You're going to get some great scenery. It's very beautiful, and you'll enjoy your way.
Great, thank you. Okay, here's another logistics question. How does seating assignments work on the various trains?
Sure. So seating assignments are actually, so if you book online, you have your reservation, and then upon arrival, you check in at the depot and you get your assigned seating. So we do try to, obviously, of course, sit all in your party together. If it's just your family traveling, your partner traveling, if you're on a girls trip or however you're traveling, we try to sit you all together as much as possible.
Great. Okay. Here's another one. And this one I thought was great. I believe this was actually, I think Pamela's a local. So she was curious, like, what can you do from Anchorage with only a day? So what are the options? Both train and maybe some of the other excursions that you're adding to the offering.
Yeah, there's many options. So it really depends on what you want to see and do and your kind of, I guess, threshold for thrill and adventure. So there's multiple, like I said, our Glacier Discovery is a great day trip train. You can do basically any stop along the way in a day. You can actually do the entire route in a day. It's a very fun one. You get a lot of just in the backcountry, in the wilds of Alaska. We call it the disco train for a reason. Hey. Another one is actually you can do Anchorage to Seward, Seward to Anchorage in a day. So you can go down to Seward in the morning, hang out, go check out some sites, go on a tour or two, have a meal, and come back if you want. Another great option is going Anchorage to Talkeetna and back in a day. Go up to start in Anchorage, go to Talkeetna, maybe do a sightseeing tour or a jet boat tour, and then come back and be in Anchorage that evening. So you have multiple options there, and it just depends on what you're looking for and what you want to do with your time.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm shocked that, I mean, I'm not shocked because I look at the schedule all the time, but like there are a lot of options for just
there
a day
are.
trip. So if you're basing yourself in Anchorage, you can absolutely still enjoy the train. And I just wanted to, Whittier also, you could do Whittier and then do a glacier cruise and back in a day, right?
Yep. You can do Anchorage Girdwood, Anchorage Whittier, Anchorage Spencer Glacier. You've got multiple of options. So again, just depends on what list you want to cross off your list and where you want to go and how thrill seeking you want to be.
Awesome. Okay, so here is something, and I think we probably should start with a little bit of a definition. The Alaska Railroad is very unique in that it is a flag stop or whistle stop train. So Chris is asking, let's start with just explaining what that is, and then how does it work? What can like visitors do that, or is it just serving locals? Or yeah, I'll let you dive in.
All right, so I'm going to start with our like hurricane turn flag stop train. Then you want me to talk about Spencer?
Yeah, let's do it that way.
Okay. So our hurricane turn train, which is actually one of our trains, we do operate it in summer and winter, and it is considered a true flag stop train. It's one of the last in the country. So it operates in this kind of remote area of the state, and what we do is we provide services, transportation to this area of the state that doesn't have roads or airplanes or landing strips. And so this is the only way accessible. So people live along this part of the train track and they can literally just come out with a flag and wave us down and we stop and they can get on board. We can deliver supplies. We can do all sorts of things. So That is our flag stop train, and you can ride that as a visitor. So you are more than welcome to get on the train and enjoy that part. We do partner with Mahays Tours that actually operates with us out on that train to do a special tour. So that's one that you can always get on if you want to kind of see the remote backcountry and how that works. It's a very cool experience. I highly recommend it. I just did it this summer, so always can 5 stars to that one. Our other one is actually our Glacier Discovery train, and it's to Spencer Glacier, which is a whistle stop. And so that's a little different from a flag stop. And it is also one of the last in the country. So the whistle stop train is more of, well, a whistle stop, I guess, that you're adhering to. And it doesn't operate like just come and go. It does operate more on a time schedule, a timetable. There's specifics to it. And our whistle stop train does run kind of more in the back country of Alaska. So once the train leaves that area, there's not something that's coming back to that area until the next day to pick you up or the following day. So how you have to plan accordingly that way. So with our whistle stop train, that is our Glacier Discovery train. So you do see it traveling into several different locations like Spencer Glacier and Grandview are what we consider our whistle stops, and they're very back country remote areas.
Yeah. So to clarify, so like a flag stop is somebody wants to get picked up and they wave a flag. And then the whistle stop is like there's more or less a schedule, and the train arrives and like blows the whistle, and you need to be in the area because it's time to get on the train.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
Got it. So yeah, okay. So hopefully that helps address your question, Chris, about flag stop, and now you know about whistle stop too. Let's jump to the next one. Deepika asks what the most scenic route is, and I don't know. Are you allowed to have favorites as you work for Alaska Railroad?
I mean, I'm probably not allowed to play favorites, but I guess my personal favorite route is the Coastal Classic down to Seward. It's very scenic. It's beautiful. You're getting into just these alpine glaciers, this forest, and you're riding along the Turnagain Arm. It is just spectacular. It's probably my favorite. So my not favorite.
Yeah. And I think I would agree, like when people talk about scenic, like which one's the most scenic, that it's consistently cited that the Coastal Classic is the most scenic. I have a favorite too, but I don't have to be unbiased. My favorite is the Denali Star, specifically between Wasilla and Denali. I think that that's a really beautiful transition zone between South Central, which is quite mountainous and forested, moving into the interior as you approach Denali. And it's just a very different type of landscape, different type of forest. So for me, it's, it is really a personal preference. But as you saw from the videos, Deepika, there's really great videos and photos. So if you're like, which one is my style, you can find lots of great resources from the Alaska Railroad and from other travelers who share stuff. So like you're on YouTube watching this, just go search YouTube. There's going to be a lot of people who've done really great videos. Okay, one last question for you. This is a fun one. Okay. I was really excited that Dawn asked this one. Where do you get your trail mix? Which I didn't even know was a thing. And now I'm like, I got to write again because I've never had the trail mix.
And I actually have to admit, I work on the Alaska Railroad and have not eaten the trail mix on the train. So I'm going to have to, next trip I do, I'm going to have to go check that out. So our trail mix is provided by our food service on the railroad, and they make it in their own unique way. And so it is clearly an amazing treat to have on the train. And I'm so excited to hear that.
Yeah, apparently exclusive to the Alaska Railroad, not available anywhere else. So, yeah. Dawn, it sounds like you've already ridden the train in Alaska. You're going to have to come back if you really want that train. Yeah. Okay, well, that is all the questions that I had in advance. One last reminder, if you do have additional questions, just pop them in the comments below. I want to thank Robin so much for joining me to share about the Alaska Railroad, all the different routes, all the different seasons, all the different adventures that you can have. There will be links to the Alaska Railroad, to the different main routes, so you can kind of dive into those down in the show notes. And the other thing that I'll include is I have some resources from my own site that are targeted for if you're trying to compare trains to see which one might be right for you. Again, the Alaska Railroad has excellent resources, and they are happy to help you plan your whole trip if you'd like that. We'll wrap it up here with, again, saying thank you to Robin, and thank you all for joining me. If you are looking for other Alaska resources, be sure to head over to my profile, subscribe. There's a whole playlist of seminars like this targeting 2025 travel. And I really can't wait to hear about your Alaska adventures. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.